Good morning, Vanessa. Buenos días, Mercedes. Buenos días. We put an alert. We put an alert at gold. Gold seems to be rejecting this area over here. It may not make it all the way to the top. It seems to be like a double top here. Action going on. I'm gonna wait for it at the extremes. I'm not gonna do anything in the middle. Tempting to take it as a sell already, but I'm gonna let it be. Daily is bearish on gold. Keeping that in mind. Yeah, that was a good sell on gold. I hear you, gold. We will wait for you to get on the other side. Let me open my platform. Check my magic keys. Magic keys operational. I need to ask you about a psychological thing. When I make a loss on my first trade, I find it difficult to take my second trade on the same size to break even at least. Any suggestions? Well, you can lower your first lot size of your first trade to make it psychologically easier to take the second trade. And you gotta live then whatever the results are from the first trade. Because if you're afraid to take a second trade, maybe the first loss was too big, right? Maybe the first loss was too big, which is what makes you to hesitate on the second one. Try to remember that each individual trade is completely different. It's a completely different set. You know, I was comparing it last night. I was talking to the Spanish student, and I was comparing it last night to, and I think I mentioned it the other day, I was playing poker. But I may have not gone into this analogy. If you watch the poker players, they don't play every hand, right? They wait for their setup. So there's an element of psychology, but there's also an element of just being disciplined. They wait for their ace setup. They know exactly what they're looking for depending on how many players are on the table, right? Because they also use statistics. Okay, if we have 5 players on the table, there's the X possibility that somebody has a better hand than mine. Which is why if you have aces on a table of 5 or 6 players, you want to raise the stakes so as to eliminate the weaker hands, and just now you're just competing with one other person, right? You're usually only competing with one other person when you raise enough to keep the good hand in, but also enough so that weaker hands just get out of the way. Now you're only playing against one other person, so now the odds turn greatly in your favor. You have the better hand, right? There's no way that your opponent has a better hand than you if you have aces. But now here comes the flop. So here comes the flop, which is 3 cards, and now the way that game is played is you can use the 3 cards on the table in addition to the cards that you have in your hand to make the best hand. So depending on what comes out on the table, then that also gives odds, probabilities, as to whether you have the best hand or not. So you may have started with aces, and let's say you started with the ace of spades and the ace of clubs, right? The dark aces. And then the 3 cards that come out are all diamonds, for example. So in other words, you don't have a diamond, you don't have a red card, all the cards on the table are red. What are the possibilities? Well, the probabilities that your opponent has a red card. Well, they're pretty high. Even if they didn't hit the flop, they're pretty high. And it's likely that if another diamond comes out, your aces are no longer any good. And so you are playing your aces, you know, let's say those 3 diamonds come out, you're still going to play your aces like they're good, because you don't know if your opponent has a diamond, and you're going to pretend that you have the diamond. And so you go in and you bet again, and now your opponent matches your bet, right? He doesn't raise you, or maybe he re-raises you. Either one. If he re-raises you, then he's saying that he has the diamonds. Either way, you still play for the next card, right? And the next card now also doesn't come out a diamond. And so now you're representing that you have the best hand because you have the aces. And you go in heavy with a heavy lot size, right? and your opponent matches you or re-raises you again. Now you understand that the market has gone against you and your aces are no good. The other guy could be bluffing you, but the likelihood in high stakes poker, when people are playing with their own cash, is not likely. People who bluff all the time in high stakes poker are not going to win consistently, because they're going to get called from the person who has the hand. And so, same concept here. Each time the cards are passed out, you have a different setup on your trade. And so the people, for example, the people who were in this move up are not the same people who are in this move up, who are not the same people who are in this move up. Each time there's different players in the market, there's different money in the market, there's a different time in the market. Each trade is different, you know? And so you need to play each setup and each trade like it's the first one you have ever played, like you have not played. Like in my case, as if I didn't lose yesterday, you know, and as if I'm killing it all along. You know, the same level of confidence, right? Because the probabilities are the same. You see here, I'm waiting for this thing to break outside. It looks like it's going to here in the next 2 minutes. Let's see if it does. Gold seems to be more ready than GJ, so I'm going to focus on gold. All right, and if it gives me a sell signal, I'm going to take it. The day is bearish. The 4 hour is bearish. The 1 hour bearish. Same kind of setup as yesterday, right? With the MTS. And I'm going to take the setup again, just like I did yesterday. Let me see if it can close outside and come back for a retest. And if it does, I'm going in. And so you need to consider that each hand that you play, each setup that you play is a unique setup. It's never been seen before in the market. Yeah, you have never seen this. What's going on right now has never happened in the market right now, ever. These are not the same players. This is not the same time. Today being now the 29th of March has never happened, of 2023, has never happened in history. This setup is unique, okay? Now the question is it giving you an edge? Yeah, at the moment that this closes outside, this will be an edge. Now can I get a pullback, please, so that I can take a sell? Okay, let me see if this can give me a pullback so I can go in. Okay, touch that line. Come on, let's go up. You can go far enough up to touch that. You can do it. Come on, gold. And then this will be like a 30-minute trade, right? This will be like a 30-minute trade. The principle being that every 30 minutes the market kind of tends to make these kind of moves, and I will be closing it before the 8 o'clock candle comes. The range is not very big unless I can catch it up here. If I can catch it up here, then the range is good enough for me to take it. Keep going already. Keep going already. I think I'm going to enter a partial here. Okay, just in case it doesn't make it up there. And then if it makes it up there, I'll enter the other position. So I'm in and watching it. It is the wick that I wanted to see. But if I'm going to wait for it to break the low, then I'm not going to have enough of a range. And if it comes all the way up here, I can enter a second one. And if it breaks through the second line, then I'll just completely get out. Okay, it didn't make it high enough for me to enter again. I'm waiting. Good job, Finn. Killing it. You killing it. It seems to be dropping again. It never did touch my line. I was hoping it did. Okay, there you go. Let's move. Let's move. That should not come back. Gold should not come back now. Vamos, Orito. There you go. Let's keep going. I'm up 4.5. And it needs to be resolved before 8 o'clock. Vamos, Orito. You can do it. Okay, come on, little gold. You want to get down there to demand. We know you do. 5.7. Oh, that was a quick move. There you go, 6. If I can get to 10, I might take it. Because I think TP is at 16 or so. That's 7. There you go. It should not come back. That's 9. 10. There you go. There you go. 10, 11 almost. There you go. 12, 13. I got excited there for a minute. 13, 14. There you go. I'm almost about to hit TP. Come on, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Stop loss to break even. It touched it, so I took a partial. I took partials there, and stop losses at break even. All right, did anybody catch that? If it takes me out, I'm good. I took a good chunk of that. That was almost a full 1%. Oh, that was 1%. Okay, good. That was 1%. 1.04. Sweet. Still have a portion in there, but it's retraced quite a bit. Timbo, good job. Good job. Yeah, now I wish I would have put my second position at the but it never did touch my line. I was waiting for it to touch my line. So it's like this, right? Every time you see your edge, you just go in. Going back to Vanisha's question, and if you feel uncomfortable taking a second trade, then maybe you lower your lot size just a little bit on that first trade. So if you lose, you don't lose that much. And then you can use the rest of your risk on the second trade. And don't worry about getting your money back, by the way. Don't worry about getting your money back. Just execute a good trade. There are times, for example, where I have lost, let's say, $1,000, right? $1,200, something like that. And the current trade that I am in has me at 800. And I see that it's doing this kind of action, right? It's touching demand. And my loss was 1,000 or 1,200. I gotta take my profit here, at least a portion of it. I have to take it. I know that if I hold it all the way down to here, then I'll make all my money back. But this is a good trade, right? This is a good trade. This is a well-planned trade. Wait for the breakout, catch the pullback, take it down, knowing that this is demand, and which is why I took the higher risk, right? I took the higher risk by entering while it was still active and going up. Because I wanted to give myself the range. Well, okay, I gave myself the range, and now it has closed that range. So my edge has diminished. I no longer have the edge. Once it touches here, my edge is pretty much gone. Now, can it keep dropping? Yeah, it could keep dropping. But I no longer have the edge that I had when I went in. So I gotta take that money and recognize that today I'm gonna be short 200, 300, maybe $400. I'm gonna be short for the day and call it a day. That was my second bullet. That's it. I'm done. You know, and it was a good trade. I'm just trying to get a good trade in. You know, especially, and then also when I lose, I'm trying to get in a good trade. If you have executed a good trade, take your profit. You know, we'll get the rest tomorrow. The next $800, $900 trade is going to give me all my money back plus. So I take my money, I go home, and I don't feel bad about it at all. Okay, guys, have a great rest of the day. God bless you.